Today we're going to talk about the secrets of a slim shopper. So reading labels, being label savvy. It can be really overwhelming to walk into a supermarket and try and figure out what's healthy and what's not, with all these conflicting labels and flashy marketing to make you think it's healthy or want to buy it. So the number one thing when you're going to the grocery store is the ingredients on the back. Everyone seems to think that this bar of the calories and the sugars and the salts is the most important thing. And from my point of view, that's something that you don't even need to look at. The most important thing is the ingredients list. So that is the little bar usually below all the calories. And let's go over two really important things that you can remember when you're looking at the back of the food label in the ingredients section. So if it's more than 5 ingredients, it's not food. And if you can't pronounce it, it's not food. Go ahead and look at the back of any kind of label. You're gonna see all these crazy words that you can't pronounce. They're not words like apple or walnut. They're words like maltodextrin, all these weird things that they make up. It means that they're breaking down the food. We've already talked about this. When your food gets broken down, it's no longer as nutritious for your body. And once they start genetically modifying it and messing with the composition of the food, it's no longer a health food. Our main focus in general for health is eating food that comes from the ground. If it's coming from the ground, coming from the earth, we're eating it, it's a whole food, it's healthy for us, you're never gonna have trouble losing weight if you're eating whole foods from the ground. I'm telling you, you'll never have to worry a day in your life about counting calories or anything like that if you just eat whole foods. It gives your body what it needs to do what it does best, and when that is happening and when that is possible, you will be at a nice slim weight, feeling energized and not needing all these other substances to make you healthy. That's really the key to it all. So look at the back of the label. I'm gonna grab something really quick so you can have a look at what I mean. Okay, so I've got 2 things for you to look at. Cacao nibs and Betty Crocker Devil's Food Cake Mix. This is the purest, rawest form of chocolate, and this is processed food. This is the Betty Crocker. You'll see enriched flour that's been bleached, not good, which has wheat flour, niacin, iron, thiamine, some of these I can't even pronounce. Then there's sugar, then cocoa processed with alkali. Corn syrup is as highly addicting for your body as cocaine, and it'll make you want to eat more and more and more. Leavening, look at these. Can you pronounce, do you know what that means? Monocalcium phosphate. I don't know about that. Partially hydrogenated soybean and cottonseed oil, cornstarch, modified cornstarch. These are not foods that are coming from the ground. Look at all that artificial flavor. So you don't need to look at all of these things on here. All you need to do is read this and see that this is full of things you can't even pronounce. And it has a ton of ingredients. There's way more than 5 ingredients on here. So this is not food. Now let's take a look at these cacao nibs. On the back, under ingredients, all it is organic cacao nibs. So you don't have to look at this to see that this is a whole food. There's only 1 ingredient, so this is good food to eat. Something else to know about reading food labels is the first ingredient is what there's the most of. So as the ingredients go down, that's the things at the bottom is what they're the least of. So as you saw with this Betty Crocker cake mix, the very first ingredient is enriched flour, bleached. And then the second ingredient is sugar. So there's tons of sugar and processed flour in there. You don't have to look at this calorie content to tell you how much sugar is in there. If you know that the second ingredient is sugar, then it's not good for you. This is a weight gain food right here. If maybe you find like a processed healthier dessert that has maple syrup as like the 5th ingredient, then you know that's a lot better option to be eating than this that has sugar as the 2nd ingredient. Always keep an eye out for that. And if you can read this, you won't even have to ever worry about all this confusingness of how much fat should I have every day, how much sugar should I have. Just look for whole foods, things that you can pronounce, things that come from the ground that don't have a lot of ingredients in them, and you will be in great shape. A couple other things to look out for, especially on packaging, is if it says low fat, then that means they're putting in all kinds of other chemicals in place of the fat. So low fat does not mean healthy. Low sugar or no sugar added does not mean you're making a healthy choice. Don't buy those products because that means they're putting chemical and artificial sweeteners in there, which are worse for you. Stay away from artificial colorings or flavorings. They have been linked with ADD and all kinds of autoimmune disorders and just bad stuff. So stay away from artificial flavors and colors. Also, fortified. If it says that it's been fortified or enriched, basically it means that they've put vitamins and minerals back into it, which sounds like a great idea, right? Normally you hear of orange juice that's been fortified or enriched with vitamin D. You want to be eating food that already has the vitamin D that you need in it. So that shows you right there that they had to process it, if they had to take out the vitamin D and then put it back in. And shelf life. If it can last on the shelf for a year or 5 years, it is not food you want to put into your body. The best food that you could put into your body is something that would go bad in a day or a week, not something that would last for months on end. So if it's gonna last a long time, that means they're putting a lot of chemicals and additives into it. Things like that Betty Crocker cake mix, you could probably have that for like 3 years and still use it. And that shows you that it's full of artificial junk. Food naturally breaks down and gets moldy and gets gross. That's just the process that nature gives us. So that's a good thing, not a bad thing. To wrap it all up, if you're buying food that is based off of very few ingredients, that's natural and it's whole, you won't ever have to worry about counting calories again or reading this stinking crazy part of the label. I would love to hear what you thought about everything we talked about today on food labels. So make sure you leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway from today. I will see you in the next chapter and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.